Hi, in today's video we'll discuss the difference between the new pension scheme and the old pension scheme. You might have noticed that these are frequently mentioned in the newspapers. Many states faced demands to return to the old pension scheme recently. And the old pension scheme, which we would also otherwise know as the OPS, was discontinued by the Atal Bihari Vajpayee led government in 2003. They brought in the new pension scheme from 1st January 2004. Several states such as Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Punjab and Himachal Pradesh, they have switched to the new pension scheme. It's old pension scheme. Sorry. You need to keep in mind these 5 states. Now let's look at a few differences between the old pension scheme and the new pension scheme. According to the old pension scheme, a government employee who had worked for at least 20 years would get 50% of their last on salary as their pension, or it should be the average earnings in the last 10 months of service, whichever is more. According to the new pension scheme, the government and the employees would contribute 10% and 14% of the employee's salary respectively towards the pension fund. And they would get 60% lump sum after retirement and 40% invested in annuities for getting a pension. We'll come to the specifics of it. See, imagine that the last drawn salary of a person who had worked for 20 years was 20k, 20,000 rupees. If he had a final drawn salary of 20,000 rupees, then that means that he is assured that at the end of every month post retirement he would get at least half of it, 50% of it, that is 10,000 rupees. No contributions are made throughout this period. You can notice this. So all throughout, this person has received his regular salary as it is, and he has not contributed anything towards his future pension, but yet he gets 10,000 rupees at the moment he retires. Pension payments are due at the time of retirement. Okay, whatever he pension he has to get, that will start as soon as he retires. Okay, then this pension amount is tax free. Whatever pension he gets is tax free. And the employee's pension increases with the revision of durance allowance twice a year. So imagine that there is a 4% durance allowance. Then 4% of 10,000 would be then added to the pension that he's already drawing. So you know that there is a set limit from which he can go on to have increased pensions. And according to the old pension scheme, there is guaranteed inflation and pay commission index pension payments to retired government employees and their spouses. What does it mean? It means that whatever happens, however the inflation has moved, whatever the state of the economy is, this person is guaranteed to get at least, not at least, so much. This 10,000 rupees plus 4% or whatever the durance allowance increases as his guaranteed pension. It is guaranteed. Now, why was this old pension scheme done away with? And why did the government bring in the new pension scheme? As you might have noticed, in the old pension scheme, the employee does not contribute to the future pension that he has to get. So it is a huge drain on the government. Every year they have so many people getting retired, and the resources that the government can otherwise divert towards improving infrastructure or welfare activities, everything is you cannot do that because you already have this burden of paying the pensions. However, the new pension scheme did away with all that worry. What did it do? It brought in a system where the government would contribute 10% of the employee's salary towards the pension fund, and the employee himself or herself would contribute 14% of the salary. So let's go by the same premise where you have an employee who was getting 20,000 as their salary. 10% of this, that would be 2,000 rupees. 2,000 rupees would be contributed by the government every month. This is by the government. Government would put 2,000 rupees into the pension fund, and then the employee will contribute 14%. 14% by the employee would mean 2,800, which would make the entire amount 4,800, right? So every month 4,800 is being put aside towards the pension fund, so that can be used to pay the future pension. However, in this scenario, you might have noticed that this 2,800 is coming out of the employee's pocket, which means though his stated salary is 20,000 rupees, the amount that he gets in his hand would be 20,000 minus 2,800. That would be 17,200. His future is secure, mind you. However, the employee ends up getting only so much in his hand. And then after he retires, he will immediately get 60% of his money as lump sum after retirement, and then the 40% which is invested in annuities, that is in bonds or stocks or whatever, for getting a pension. The Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority is the body which normally invests this fund in diversified portfolio. However, the employee has the liberty to choose a fund manager if they need so. However, the PFRDA are the usual body who does it. What they would do is they would utilize this collected amount. You can understand that if a person who derives a supposedly stated salary of 20,000 a month, if the contribution in his name is 4,800 per month towards his pension, then all this collected amount of all these people is then handed over to the PFRDA, and they would invest that in stocks or bonds or debentures or whatever monetary tools, which can then multiply the money. These contributions will grow, and the government can use them to pay pensions when it needs to. So, does this guarantee fixed pensions? No, it does not guarantee fixed pensions. However, they provide high returns in the long term, resulting in a significant lump sum and monthly pensions. So, the government is not the government does not face a drain of resources in the future when they have to pay the the pension. The government extended the scope of NPS. You can notice this. The old pension scheme was only for the government employees, whereas right now, the new pension scheme covers also all citizens, including self-employed and unorganized workers between the age of 18 to 60, including NRIs. That has been happening since 2009. And see, if someone is not a government employee, the other citizens, they can contribute a minimum of 500 rupees per month towards the new pension scheme. So, you can understand that the scope of this is much larger, and most people, see, the problem is that most people don't realize the monetary tools. They don't understand the terms such as stocks or how the market is regulated, what the trajectory of the market is. They don't understand these terms, which make them fearful. They think that, isn't it better for me to be assured of a fixed income rather than let my future pension be dependent on market factors? So, and in addition to it, they also think that, if I already choose to stick to the old pension scheme, I will get my entire salary in hand. Why should I take a reduced salary right now in the hope that I will get high returns, which I'm not even assured about? So, That is why the old pension scheme seems attractive to a lot of people. However, the new pension scheme, as you might have noticed, is the progressive way, because it does not drain the government of its resources, which can be otherwise used for more developmental activities, and it is sustainable. Old people just don't need the money, they also need the amenities that the government can provide: proper roads, proper hospitals, proper everything, you know. Now, according to the new pension scheme, 60% of the final amount is tax free, while the remaining 40% is taxable. So, this is another thing which people find troublesome, because if you have noticed, in the old pension scheme, the pension amount is tax free. So, in according to the new pension scheme, your 60% of the final amount is only tax free, while the remaining 40% is taxable. So, I hope you have gained clarity on the difference between the old pension scheme and the new pension scheme. Thank you.